Hey, what's up you guys? This is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and on today's snapshot, I'm going to show you just how great it is to be cheap and flexible when we take a look at Mirage's Hall of Mirrors build. So the main premise of this build is to extend the duration while increasing the energy efficiency and power strength of Hall of Mirrors and Eclipse. Prism is still included in the kit, but isn't the main focus. However, if you did want to shift the focus of this build, the Forma format actually allows for the maximization of any of Mirage's playstyles. From personal experience, the build we're going to be taking a look at works quite well against the Infested and the Grineer. While the appropriate pairing of weapons can make this build feasible for any faction, I do find that solo, the Corpus and Corrupted speedy damage output can quickly end our Glass Cannon's killing spree if they manage to finger the right culprit. Now, if we take a look at Hall of Mirrors mechanics, it creates 4 doppelgangers around Mirage that mimic most of her actions. Each individual doppelganger will do 20% of her weapon damage for a total of 80% additional damage. However, do note that each doppelganger only aims at the general direction of your reticule and isn't necessarily the most accurate. As for Eclipse, it provides a simple steroid. In lit environments, she becomes extremely reflective and gains a large damage buff, while in the shadows her image fades and she gains a substantial damage reduction. While this is amazing, just note that the damage buff doesn't apply to her doppelgangers, and regardless of how much power strength you pump into it, the damage resistance will cap out at 95%, which just goes to show that mere pumping does not excuse poor technique. Now here's a snapshot. As compared to a lot of my other frames, this 3 Forma build is probably one of the cheapest and provides a great base to maximize any of her skills. Start off by replacing the 2 scratch polarities with 2 dashes, and finish it off by adding an additional D slot. Because, you know, 1D is never enough. Now, as you can see, we're pumping up Hall of Mirrors and Eclipse from all angles. Due to the fact that we're running Blind Rage to give a substantial boost to the skill set, we are using a fully ranked Fleeting Expertise and Streamline to offset the cost, and ensure that we'll have enough energy to recast them. Now, for those of you who can live without Prism, feel free to ditch it and slot in a Constitution for a duration bump, Intensify for a boost to damage, or whatever you feel you need to suit your playstyle. As for tips and tricks, one of the biggest things to remember is the fact that Mirage is extremely weapon dependent. The better the weapon is, the better Hall of Mirrors and Eclipse becomes. Another thing to keep in mind is that Hall of Mirrors isn't 100% accurate, so pairing her with primary or secondary weapons that deal their damage in an area, and melee weapons that have a wide range will allow her to stack damage much more easily. As for Eclipse, use it all the time or use it as you need it. While this specific build doesn't allow you 100% eternal use of both, the deficit between stacked usage and how much energy Siphon can regain in that time can be filled by a single energy orb. Now, Prism, it's a bit of an afterthought and its range is a bit neutered, but this build does nearly maximize its damage. However, in higher tiers, it is best reserved for control. Because let's face it, who needs damage when paired with the right weapon? Mirage comes equipped with her own doppelgangbang. So thank you all for watching another episode of The Snapshot. If you missed them, I'll link you to the previous builds I did for Zephyr and Valkyr. Don't forget to do the thing that I asked you to do at the end of every one of these. And as always, stay tuned for more ways to stay cheap and flexible here at A Gay Guy Plays. See, I'm all aboard the doppelganger train. It is the safest orgy you'll ever have, and cleanup is a breeze.